How do I produce a good contract CV for the UK marketplace? Firstly, to write a good UK IT contract CV or interim consultancy CV, you need to be able to write down and record your career history in 2 to 3 pages. Often I see people managing to write 10, 11, 12 pages or half a page. Neither's good enough. 2 to 3 pages. Ensure you include your achievements. People find this quite difficult to do, but your achievements should be those things you're proud of which really show you've gone the extra mile. Those things that may impact on the company, its profitability, or saving costs, or retaining talent, or perhaps enabling a project to sustain longer than it otherwise would. Start a summary page. This should include your personal details, all your contact details, but nowadays you don't need your date of birth. I'd also advise that you include your postal code because so many databases need that, but you don't need to include your full address. Very importantly, write an effective profile. It needs to say who you are, including a generic job title and perhaps the job title you actually were called or wish to be called. In addition, it needs to list clearly the skills that you have and the experience that you have relevant to this role. Ideally then, you want to also include the industries that you've worked in and start to illustrate how your skills are transferable across industries and how you will be able to apply them. This profile will start to establish your personal brand. And personal means you. Therefore, you need to talk about your personal and business competencies that are relevant to this role. So, your second paragraph needs to be about you and illustrate some of your soft skills and some of your business skills. Finally, you need to also state at least one line illustrating your immediate flexibility and availability. Also, you need to state where you're prepared to work. There's no point in saying that you're immediately available and flexible and actually you only want to work in central London. Having decided in your personal profile what you are and the job that you want, for example, say it's a .NET developer, you need to actually really decide what the core skills around that job title are. And you then need to populate your CV sufficiently with those core skills so that they will stand out in any database search and help you really be pushed right up to the top so that you're in the top 5% of candidates. So the key words for your profile are dominating in your CV and not perhaps some legacy skills. After your summary, your personal summary, you need to include a technical summary with the technical skills that you have for the role, or a business summary which illustrates the business skills that you have. If it's not a technical summary, you can highlight it as perhaps being your personal skills, but you need to be able to summarize them very, very concisely and list them and group them. And this mustn't be in a table. Most people put them in a table. The problem is that most databases won't actually pick those skills up if they're shoved into a table on the first page of your CV. So be prepared to use Word and keep them in a format that can be seen. Above all, you need to have a CV that looks good. And that starts by really deciding the right type of CV. You can see many examples across the internet of different types of CV, but we would recommend that you run a tombstone CV which runs the dates in reverse order. Equally so, you have to decide, are you actually working with a job-based CV or a project-based CV? And in some cases, you may decide that you want to work with a functional CV. However, I have to say, functional CVs are less effective. So if you have a CV that has the right history and the right roles in it, you stand a far better chance of making it really effective. There's a great deal of advice out there about CVs. But if you're going to be in the contract market, you need a specialist contract CV. And that contract CV, therefore, rather than being the normal 2-page CV, needs to be 3 to 4 pages. And it needs to have the right content and hit home with the right points. It is a specialist CV and it needs to reflect you. So good luck.